I own this, and I chose an accounting company. I'm speaking to the whole room. The accounting company I chose, I trust. I've been around long enough to know that when you've been in the game for 20 years, when you get with somebody you could trust, keep them. Ian, I trust. Only because I've had mad managers where it didn't go right. Mm-hmm. It took 20 years, but there's an accountant I trust. Ian, I trust. So if you're wondering why it looks like there has been progress over the last few years, there's an ecosystem behind the scenes that I really, really, really respect. But if I told you who my accountant was, you'd realize that his family has done the accounting in the entire music business for probably most of my life. When I came in, his family was running accounting in the music business.
Some people might say that as a negative, though. It's all the horror stories we've heard about
you can receive,
and
you can receive it that way. Mm-hmm. That's why this is my testimony, and I'm saying I trust this accountant.
Well, he assumed that he had
ownership.
Well, there's no contract, and he knew that, so we playing around.
He didn't know. That's the problem. He didn't know.
Well, but it's not on paper, so that's fine. He cannot know. I cannot know. It cannot be established. It's not on paper. This is very important for creative people and entrepreneurs to get with. When it was time for a contract, it's time to fight. Not fight, but it's time to negotiate.
What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. YouTube in this algorithm, boy, sure got a way of working. Find it very, very telling that I'm speaking on the new contract situation that Joe has found himself in with Prize Picks, and YouTube wants to show me the old contract situation Joe was in with Spotify and whoever else the suitor was that he was going to sign with. Episode 439 came upon my timeline, and I actually watched all of it. I was like, damn, I don't remember any of this, but it's so very telling to see how everybody is currently acting. First of all, I am speaking on deaf ears when it comes to equity, points, anything pertaining to ownership. That is never happening. And y'all have been saying that forever, but I didn't realize how much it was never happening until running this back. Joe's mindset has not changed, not at all. I thought it was very, very, very telling that he said the accountants that he has and he trusts and has developed a relationship with are the same accountants that have been running the music industry for 60 to 70 years. These words came out his mouth. And how many times have we equated the podcast industry being the music industry? It's the same tactics. Yet, the other day, I brought up there's not the same laws. At least there were laws implemented in Hollywood for these exact purposes, but there still have not been laws implemented in the music industry. The titans, like Taylor Swift, they're trying to turn it on its head right now. She was finally able to buy back her own masters, the original recordings, because she did something that had never been done before. In the music industry, he got the same accountants. Y'all are never getting ownership. I'm sorry, guys. Everything I'm saying is falling on deaf ears. But Ish was on top of Joe's head from the beginning, from the very offset. And he told Joe to his face, I don't agree with how this went down with you, Rory and Mal. I'm on Rory's side. How are you going to say y'all are percentage partners, but when it comes time for the contract, they can't see the contract? And then Joe said another thing that I'm like, oh my God, they just had another contract come about. Whether it's for endorsements, advertising, for the ship, whatever, they had another deal come about. And this is Flip's fight that Rory was having, except Rory actually was a percentage partner. It seems like everyone here currently is just an employee. But anyway, Joe said, y'all need to get your attorneys before we sign the deal. Well, Joe, if you're not telling us any information and we're percentage partners and you're just giving us whatever you feel the cut is, how the fuck are we supposed to know when the next contract is coming up? You're telling us to get our attorneys and to have negotiations, but if you already signed the deal, what's the point in us getting our lawyers? It's too late. Unless we're trying to get our contracts amended, or or we're signing a contract with the pod, and then everything you do outside of the pod isn't reflected in those same contracts, or it is, and we're getting quote unquote percentage or whatever you feel like paying them. And now that's happening at even worse clip, even though I think the money is either the same or more than it was when they were with Spotify. And that was a 2-year term. Now Joe, I feel, is getting the same bread for simply having a logo and having an advertisement for 2 minutes out of a 3.5 hour pod. The same rules apply. I'll pay y'all more. That's it though. Even though the pod would not be what it is to this day without y'all being honest. Special shout out to Ish and Ice. Y'all saved me because it was looking real rocky. I saw Cash App said, "Hey Joe, it was a pleasure doing business with you, but we gotta go." And they never came back. 2 days or 2 episodes after he fired Roy and Mal, when neither one of them was there. But now things are on the up and up and up and up. I just think this contract talk is very funny. And I would not have brought this up, but YouTube was like, "Hey, I think you need to see this." And they were right. I'm like, dog, the same thing is happening at a worse clip. He's running music industry tactics, even though he himself rages against the machine. He hates the music industry, but everything that they do and all the tactics that they employ and all the people that are at higher up positions in the music industry, he has respect for or he works with. I remember very vividly him having immense respect for Leor Cohen. Immense respect for Kevin Liles. Every time an exec's name come up, Joe is on the good side. Why on God's green earth would you continue to sign contract after contract after contract after contract with this person when their best interests come from the music industry and there's less laws in podcast land than there is in the music industry? I'm telling y'all, whenever it comes time for them to re-up or sign with somebody and it is a lucrative deal, every single one of the co-hosts is going to be pissed because Joe, he's just going to double up on their payment. That's it. If you're getting 20K, you're getting 40K now. If you're getting 30K, you're getting 60, so on and so forth. But for those who are able to see through the trees, Ish, Flip, they're going to be even more frustrated than they are currently because Flip is calling out every move Joe makes, every single one. But based off of this conversation that happened in 2021 and how Yes Man Parks was back then, oh Lord, Parks is definitely included in this. Ian is definitely included in this. Joe made sure to let it be known Ian is the reason we get bread now. Every decision he makes, I'm just going to back it, even if I'm kicking his back end on the pod. Because prior to this, I was spending money out my own pocket. The millions that I was getting from everywhere else, I was having to feed to the guys because they think more money's coming in than it actually was. But now that Ian is on board and I'm following his advice as my manager, we're starting to see money, but I need to cut back on expenses because Ian is still to this day letting it be known that we need to cut back on all these expenses. Joe, stop buying all these aquapanas. They don't deserve $4 per bottle water. Sorry. Tap water's just fine. Ian has been saying from the very beginning of BTS ways they can cut down on spending. Ways they could be more uniform and perform in unison for the JBP. He's saying it in jest, he's saying it satirically, but it's the truth. And Joe is letting it be known, y'all aren't going to get any part of this pot except what I give you. Because it was just the episode prior to this where he said, I can get 2 for the price of 1. But what happens when you can get 4 for the price of 1? $10K a month is a lot of bread to show up 4 days out the month. It's a lot of bread. Or 8 days, either or. But I don't know. I just think it's very telling. Now it makes me want to go dig into the crates. What else did Joe tell us 4 years ago that's happening currently? And Flip is speaking like he was a part of the come up like Roy and Mal was. And when it comes to content, I agree with Flip. I'm not even going to continue to kick his back in. I actually agree. I am a part of the reason why so much money or an influx of money is coming in. So why can't I receive a percentage of that? Or why can't we be profit sharers, even if I have to fund my part on the show? Especially given that Flip does know what these views do. But shout out to Ish for holding Roy and Maul back then and holding them down currently. Honestly, he hasn't turned his back on any of the people that he hung out with then, because he saw the tactics that Joe employed, which is why when they had their contract dispute, Ish was steadfast saying, if you can fire me at will, I should be able to quit at will. And you're taking away opportunities from my actual business. I'm not going to fully depend on you because I know how you operate. I see how you operate. But now that we see Prize Picks, ain't no telling what else they're going to sign. Are they just going to continue to take the re-up on the contract? Or are they just going to continue to take what Joe lays out in the contract? Or are they going to fight like Joe told them to 4 years ago? Before the deal comes, that's when you need to get your attorneys and your lawyers and negotiate. Whether we accept deals or continue to haggle until it's signed, that's on them. But I don't want to hear shit from you, Flip. I don't want to hear shit from you, Ish. But hey, y'all keep running them numbers on, man. I appreciate all the support, sincerely. I don't even know what else to say outside of that. Y'all like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know what it is with us. We're just going to keep running it up. I don't know what else to say. I appreciate all the support. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.